Hi, sweethearts. So, this collective, I think would be slightly pissed, cause I am feeling that way, and I am not pissed over anything at all. I'm like, but I've been sitting here talking to myself, which I do a lot, but analyzing and whatnot, which quickly goes over to rumination, which should not be done because then you get stuck, and also you can get stuck in the whole like story making instead of simply like feeling the emotions and let it pass. But it's the anger. It's like I'm feeling a sense of anger, and I even pulled out my wheel of emotion things because I was like, okay, where can I place this? Mostly for fun, but those wheels are actually very helpful. But what I've been sitting here thinking is that, oh my god, this feeling is so impractical, and oh my god, blah blah blah. But the thing is, this is the same feeling you'd be using to make change. I know I've been mentioning that before slightly, but and I was thinking about, because lots of authors and podcasters and whatnot, they keep talking about you change when the pain of staying or remaining as you are or as things are becomes greater than the pain of changing. No. I mean, yes, maybe, perhaps, but like that's... Why would you wait until that point? I mean, and at that point, you'd quite likely also end up feeling just very, very stuck. If it's pain, then if we go, okay, this is a tarot reading. I'm going to read cards, but like, okay, let's think about this a tiny bit. There is no logic to that. Truthfully, because let's say, and this is animal research, sadly, and they are horrible, but the knowledge that, like the research, the thing that was done was not nice and it was not good. But the information we got from it, on the other hand, that's actually a conundrum. Now, you do have a conundrum. I don't know if I can use that word, but that's actually a thing. Like when you study for that kind of, or like scientific, perhaps it's mostly with, anyway, testing with animals. That's a thing you actually do have to think about when you do study paths that will lead you to, science that might require that while you're studying. I remember that we talked about that slightly, morals and stuff. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is this. So, and there are different versions of this one, but the one we will be focusing on is I'm not sure what type of animal was used. I can't remember. It's highly irrelevant. But one group was raised in a room where they were continuously put under suffering. Like they were getting charged with electricity. So painful, right? And the other groups were not. So like there's just one group that is. And they were getting accustomed to this, I think, since they were children. So what happened? Well, in the beginning, they did actually, of course, react in a way where they wanted to escape this pain. And they tried to escape this pain, but then they went around in this room and it was impossible. They could not escape this pain. So, what did they do? They ended up accepting it. This is normal. This pain that I'm feeling, that's normality. That's how life works. And there is no way around it. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. But guess what I'm gonna do? Apathy. I will do apathy. So they were not, like, they literally disconnected from themselves then. Of course, like, you don't do psychotherapy on these animals afterwards, but that was what we saw. It was learned helplessness, which is apathy. You go into a state of apathy where you lose feelings, right? You don't lose them, you still have them. You're just not connected. You're connected up here and not here, right? And it doesn't matter. But the point is, when they got older, or at some point at least, once they knew for a fact that these animals had sort of accept it. Life as it is sucks. It's painful. It is pain. Like I'm thinking about that quote from Princess Princess, not Diaries, but Princess Bride with life is pain, highness, or something like that. Ooh. Yes, of course, pain comes and goes, and yes, anger comes and goes, and different emotion comes and goes, but this was unique. So you can wait. I'll finish it. I'll finish this thing. ADHD, guys. You already know this. But okay. So once they knew for a fact that these animals had gotten used to life just sucking, life being pain. In life, I simply have to endure. Well, when they had the option of leaving, they didn't. Because this was life. They had learned that pain is life. And the thing is here, if you have grown up, for example, I mean, it could also be like if you're in, like, my readings are based, my collectives are connected some way or another to someone romantically. Because I do love readings, but they don't always center around love, but my collectives, right? But my collectives are, I'm going to say, are always connected to someone romantically. In love, you know? But that's not my point. My point is this. If you have grown up, which lots of people who are within the spiritual realm, lots of people who find real helpful guidance and clarity and back to themselves even via spirituality, have also grown up with lots of stuff, right? And so, for at least this group then, to sit and wait until the pain is too much, that's like sitting and waiting until Ragnarok finally arrives, or Armageddon, or whatever you want to call it. It's never happening. You are used to life being pain. You are used to enduring whatever will be thrown your way. And you know you can. You just cut off, not your head, like you still have your head, but you just cut off from your body, from your emotions. You're used to this. You're a professional at this. You will never reach a point, most likely at least, where you are just like, I am feeling it and it's so much pain now and I cannot get out of this. And it's like, if I remain, then that will be so much more painful than the change. No, never. I mean, if you are, of course, by all means, but I'm saying this for a reason. For this collective, this is true. Okay? The story has to, in my readings, which are also very long, usually, bring snack. Also, I do this myself. Speed me up until the biggest or highest whatever speed. You can do that on every YouTube video. I do it all the time. ADHD, you know. But until you're like, I can hear what you're saying right now. But if I went up just a tiny bit more, that would never happen. I can't hear you then. I can't understand what you're trying to say, woman. But anywho, point is this. The story has to fit, but the details might vary. And if you feel called to this reading, then there might definitely be a more general message for you, even if it's not your actual collective. Okay, we're back to it now, because you can't wait, this collective, I'm sorry, you cannot wait until the pain is too much to bear. It will never happen. Not for this collective. I am sorry. However, I am sensing that this collective will have this fire inside of them, anger, and they don't know how to properly use it. And to me that is frustrating, because it's frustrating because you get like this frustration when it keeps just building and building and building and building inside of your body and you're not using it for anything. At least for me, it's like when I get this anger feeling, well, it is anger, but I don't even usually call it that, but it is what it is. It's just that for me, it is the fire that sort of propels my steam engine along, or for change, you know. Or you can also look at it as like a, what's it called, like those hot air balloons, right? Well, now you can move from point A to point B. Now you can start a project to attack this thing, whatever it is that is enraging you. It's not a bad feeling. This is the feeling I used when I was an active activist. This was my fire when I was standing in the streets trying to... This is coming to my mind because I was watching a movie last night and she was doing this. I can't remember what it was called. It was really fun. I will go and find it because this movie might be of relevance. Let's see. It was recommended to me on YouTube, so I saw the entire thing on YouTube last night. It was a short little thing. It was amazing. Let's see here. What was it called? I just need to find it here. No, it was not Monty Python. What is it? Ah, yes! Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. It has, the three main characters are... Nobody also has a best friend. So, Dr. Horrible is... I don't know actors' names, so I might end up just confusing you guys even more. But Dr. Horrible is... the wait for it guy from How I Met Your Mother, and his love interest is from Supernatural, the red-headed hacker, the girl, and no, her name is Felicity. I think I have her book actually. No One's Strange on the Internet or something like that. A really good book. I highly recommend it. But then there was also him. I think I know Fallon, Jimmy Fallon, maybe. He was the writer in the series Castle. He's also Firefly. Yes, I haven't seen that though. But Castle I saw some, not everything, but some. And also the best friend of Dr. Horrible is a best friend character, not a character, but like a person who also plays a best friend in, what's that called? Where the scientists are living together. Sheldon is there, but it's not Sheldon. Sheldon Cooper, the character. Anywho, Big Bang Theory. Yes, that one. So I highly recommend watching that. But anyways, Felicity, she was playing this activist, and I was standing there watching her do her activist thing, and I was like, this will never work. You're never gonna stop a single person, because where is your fire? It's not there. Well, if you don't have that fire, you're not going to create change. That this feeling is to create change. Because there's something that's like not okay for you right now. You don't need to wait until the pain comes along. You have this, then that's a fucking... I'm trying not to swear. Then that's a very good indicator that you are craving some sort of elemental change. And it is firing you up. Stop using the word anger. You're fired up. Because that sounds more positive, and that's relevant for this collective. You have a weird you have a weird relationship with anger. I'm sorry, but you do. It's like, this is how you go and create change. I'm trying so hard not to swear right now. It's hard. Damn it. Oh no. Still though, this is to create change. You'll never reach that point. Okay, we're starting this thing now. We spent 15 minutes on me doing this thing. So now we're gonna check out, what's the tea? What's going on here? I'm sensing that one actually also. Maybe not. It's like we're all over the place. You guys have just like, oh my god, this collective. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm taking it back. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm feeling this. And it's like, I am not usually, I can be filled with fire and fired up and whatnot, but it's what I use to create change. This is how I know current circumstances are not working for me, or they don't work. Like, it's not part of the whole, like, my value system. Like, some sort of change needs to be created, either in the environment or that I remove myself from the environment. Like, it's either or. I cannot affect change in other people, but I can affect change in myself, and I can affect what exists around me and how it exists around me. Damn it, this is me out in the streets when I was doing this. And that created lots of people that, wanted to join in on the change, because this isn't dangerous. This is the fire that also engages other people. It all depends on how you use it. And this collective, you don't even use it. What is this? Supportive circle. You will encounter people who truly care and support you. If you use the anger for something, yes, you will. But also, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. So, I'm putting this back, actually. I feel like this was much more for, yes, do the thing that I said. Use this anger. Anger isn't bad. But you need to use it for, like, I don't know, like, in a way you can use it, which actually also makes sense. Okay, let's continue. What is going on here for this right collective? I'm really sensing that one, but okay, let's see. Maybe this was mostly for the supportive circle. Whoa, oh my god, it's jumping all over the place here. That's okay. Just really want to, like, check it out. What's going on for this right collective? Whoops. Something is falling on top of other stuff as well. So we're getting something here. But they're all still flipped in, like, a sense that it's... There's a cluster forming, which is a thing. Oh my god, okay. Someone has a hidden agenda and motives. This was all the way over there. So, let's see. I don't know if this is this collective, double standards. Okay, there's something about double standards here. Different people are held to different standards. I don't know, but we also have the justice thing here. And also hidden agenda has the chameleon. And then we have pushing boundaries. Someone may be testing your limits with the double standards. And then we also have breaking news. A surprising revelation will shift your perspective. Okay, pushing boundaries. I am not sure if this is you guys or if this is what you guys are so fired up over, perhaps. Like, someone is working with a hidden agenda, that they are dealing with double standards, meaning they are held to a different standard than what you are, and you are then, of course, expected to do more than what they are in certain areas, but it also has to do with boundaries. So I'm thinking and feeling here that it could also be this. The double standards are, you need to respect, like, but I have these issues, you have to respect them. And so it's almost like guilting. That's what I'm sensing right here and now. It's like, but I have these things, and it's like, you know this, so I can't do that thing, or I don't want to do that thing, or whatever it is. But it's double standards, because when you have that thing, it's like, yes, but I don't know. I need more. I need more to this. I want to know more about the cluster here. The cluster with double standards, pushing boundaries, and breaking news. And it's a surprise revelation. Well, maybe you just realized it. Maybe you just realized it and you are enraged now. Because it's like, I did not see these double standards. Or also, I saw it, but I ignored it. And now you're angry with them, yourself, the world, and everything around it. Instead of seeing that this means, because the boundary stuff, that's also a thing that I was going to say. Like, because with the anger, it often comes when your boundaries are being crossed, or values. You're not being respected as a human being. then that would make people angry, right? If they are not being treated and respected as a human being, anger might appear, obviously. But that anger isn't meant to make you go into war mode per se. Like, sure, but it's not like, I have these boundaries, respect them, roar. That's not where it's you now realizing that, well, I don't like this. So change is needed, and it is needed by either the circumstances, that means the people that are involved with pushing your boundaries, that stuff changes, or I need to remove myself from this non-changing circumstance thing, whatever that is. But it's breaking news. It's like I'm really sensing that. Oh my god. Okay, a card popped out. Feminine energy. Okay, so breaking news with a feminine energy. I'm not saying a woman here. It's someone with a feminine energy. So that could also, that does not mean that you, the correct collective, have masculine energy. You might also have feminine energy. I don't know, and it is never attached to gender when I talk about it. It is simply energy. We all have feminine. We all have masculine. It's more about which do you feel like you belong to the most, sort of, you know? We all have different, it's like a gliding scale with everything. Everything is like a gliding scale, you know? It's like to even exist at the outer points would be highly unique. You move between these points, right? And then you exist, and you might even move slightly between, or like maybe within this, maybe you have like, okay, sliding points, right? Then maybe within this, you might have an area on this sliding scale, whatever the thing is called, that you move between. It's like, I'm not sure why I'm here talking about this, and I'm so engaged because it's this feeling. It's the feeling of this collective. Huh. Okay, but you are, it's something with a feminine energy. That's pushing boundaries. She's holding double standards. And for you, it's sort of breaking news. Just how it absolutely looks like and feels like and whatnot. Doesn't mean that you might not, it doesn't mean you'd never saw it before. It just means before you might have excused it, or you might also have kind of like, well, with the double standards, you might have really bought into it. Yes, but they do have all of these things that they struggle with. Yes, but you can't really expect that from them because they went through this, or they went through that, or they're still struggling with this, or they're still struggling with that. Listen, you shall be judged and also judge. And I'm not a person who's like, oh, put blame and whatnot. But I mean, of character and how you work together. You need to judge them on their worst, and you need to also let yourself be judged on your worst, because that is who you are during stress. And guess what? You want to know that the person that you are with, because again, love stuff, and this is definitely then love. It's like in some sort of like love energy, unless otherwise is indicated by the cards at some point very soon. This feminine energy is someone you're attached to romantically. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, the victim, yeah. Wounded and insecure. But also, okay, so the feminine energy, it's intuitive, nurturing, creative, all of the nice stuff, right? The yin energy. But when this is basically upside down, then it's not, you don't have to get these upside down, but the wounded feminine energy is wounded, insecure, and they are in perpetual victim state. It's like, oh, but life is so hard for me. Oh, things never work out for me. Oh, I don't like that. I feel uncomfortable when this happened. And oh, it's like, get over yourself. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be saying these things. I'm sorry. Like, I'm usually way more respectful of other people than this. I'm sorry, but this has to be attached to the collective. I really want to like get out of this energy, sort of. But I'll remain here because I really need to figure out what's going on. So let's see if there's something more existing in here. Like anything more to add to it with the... Whoa. Okay, yeah, I got something. I got attacked even. What is this? South node. Comfort zone. Okay, yeah. But that wasn't actually attached to that. And then it's like, so this is why you have this built up in your system. All this anger. And I'm trying not to swear right now. Both this feminine energy and you are stuck in your south node, meaning the stuff that you need to work on, but you don't want to because you are in your comfort zone and you're very comfortable with that. Are you really though? Because this is not comfortable. This is the fire of change that is not being used for anything because guess what? It's the fear of the new. Well, you're going to just sit here and have this build up then. And then you also have resistance again, and then clinging to old ways or situations. You're even clinging to this. You have this anger, and you're clinging to it. It will never evaporate. It is here to make you evaporate the things that are igniting this. It's not here to evaporate itself. That's never happening. If anything, you're just going to be you're building this up in your system until you actually set it forth and use it for something. This collective, again, you cannot wait until you are in so much pain that change is the only option, or else, because the fear of the new will be much less than the fear of having to stick around in this. Ain't ever happening. Not for this collective. You are used to pain. You are used to fear. And so you can sit in that until your dying day. And you will sit in it with this, and this feeling will just keep on building and building and building. And then you'll sit there and be like, why do I feel so horrible? Why do I feel so angry? What's going on? I just need to do some more fucking meditation or mindfulness. I just need to center myself. Because it could not possibly be that these emotions or these feelings are trying to fucking get you to evaporate the stuff that are making you feel like this. That could not possibly be it, could it? Damn it. Okay, let's see. What else is going on here? Oh my god, it's just dropping now. That's good. Let's see. We have one that dropped fast. So distance and a timeout. So retreat, blocked, emotional or physical distance. Yes, with the south node and all of that is the thing that I talked about. You are stuck in this thing and you are distancing yourself from yourself and you're in as it says timeout. But this is what you should be doing, but it's not what you are doing. And it's like you're retreating and blocking and emotionally and physically, I'm going to say, distant from this person and also yourself. You're just feeling this and going like, I'm so confused. What is all this anger about? What's going on? Well, you never learned to use it, did ya? Okay, and then we have clarity and truths. Are one of my lamps died. Doesn't matter. Can you see my face? Yes, you can. Can you feel my anger? Yes, you can. Wait, I'm gonna put this over here so that I'm still like, because I'm. Is it still on me? Yeah, nice. Maybe I can put this up. Give me a sec. See? Now I'm like, I can do this. I can fix these stuffs. You can too. You could just use your emotions for what they're meant to be. So this one landed right on the south node and feminine energy. That's like in the cluster of double standards and pushing boundaries and breaking news. And like, okay, no, you know that the solution is that you need to distance yourself. That's what it is. And this is clarity and truths. Heightened intuition and seeing things. The breaking news is that you're seeing it. It shouldn't be, because that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Okay. You're seeing it, but you're just sitting here with this emotion then. And being all, I'm so confused and shocked. What is going on? I can just say this. Like, you sitting there doing breathing exercises will not make this disappear, but you can by all means put a lid on it. It's not going to go anywhere, but you can put a lid on it. Of course you can. And then you can walk through this day, your next day, life in general, and be all feeling that simmering that erupts, because it will. If you keep on pushing this down, at some point, it erupts, okay? And you erupt like a volcano, because you can't have control of this feeling when you can't use it in a controlled manner. You're just like, oh no, this is dangerous, I don't want to feel this. Put a lid on it, walk away. I ain't touching that. No, you can see what the issue is. Okay, hidden agenda. I'm gonna check this out now. Hidden agenda is like, is it you that have a hidden agenda? Or is it like you're feeling this person has a hidden agenda? Someone has a hidden agenda and motives, and then you also have like, it's a chameleon, right? So I am sensing you're just like literally putting lids on it as often as you can. You're just not engaging with it. And then you're like a chameleon walking through, and you also might be one of those that really think of that as one of your superpowers. It is not. If you are a great chameleon, well, it is. But if you are a great chameleon, you're a great chameleon because you learned I cannot be myself actually. And also I like to not have people see me actually. And also, can I just pretend that I am everything that you want so that you will not be angry with me? You're afraid of anger. So you have never integrated anger into yourself. You see anger as something that is dangerous. Me being this intense in my voice might not be very comfortable for this collective. But guess what? Everything I've said is true, and what you have integrated is the same thing as the animals in the room, where they were like, life is pain, highness, and I'm just gonna sit here forever. They did that even when they could walk away. It was very obvious that they could walk away. It was just within a very specific area. There were different animals that were walking away. However, I don't know if all of them did this, but at least some of them did move away when they saw different animals doing it. Because then they were like, oh my God, that's a thought I never had in my head before, that I could do that. And it's not true, because they started out with it. They started out with the thought that, well, this is painful. I don't want to sit in that. I want to get away from this. This is not how life is supposed to be, because it's not. But because they had been the only evidence they could collect was the fact that, well, it doesn't matter. Wherever I move around in this space, I will continuously be hurting. So I might as well just lay down, because that's what they did. They went into complete apathy mode. They lay themselves down on the floor and they just existed there. And they were just taking it. Every single shock, electroshock, they were just taking it. It was horrible. But it really does showcase how important it is to know sort of what sort of worldview you have been brought up with for different reasons. Whatever it is that you feel like you have had to endure, well, guess what? You need to sort of realize, I suppose, that you don't have to endure it anymore. You don't have to. At this point, you are choosing to. At this point, you are like that animal. At this point, you are an animal who are just used to being in pain and suffering, and I can take it all, just keep on hitting that. But you don't have to, because you could literally walk away at this point in your life, just as with the animals. And yet you're not. Yet you're not, because you're stuck in your south node. Meaning, well, you know what? Give me a sec. Give me 1 second here. I will read it to you. It's from a different deck, and I was actually looking at it. But I don't have to, because I got the card. Okay, guys. This will suck. But it won't. This is like the truth that you don't want to face. You are keeping yourself, and this person also exists in it. Their south node. So, For you, it's just like, life is pain, Highness. This is destiny and fate. No, it's not. These are experiences you are meant to release. You are meant to overcome them so that you can grow and develop and whatnot. And yes, that is like also, that comes with pain and fear and whatnot. But honestly, for this collective, you're so used to it. How could you not think that you would be able to handle that type of pain and fear and whatnot? You're living in it. It's like, that's your normal. That's what you look at as your comfort zone. Fear of the new. No, but it's a double standard specifically. But still though. Anywho. Oh yeah, look at that. I didn't mean to arrange them like this. It's like, you have clarity. You know that you need to, and you even know that you're not, because this is the only one that for some weird reason has been kept upside down. I don't keep these upside down, but it was just laying there. You know that you need it and that you don't want to do this. You know that you guys are distant and that you needed time out and that it's like you know all of this. Oh, okay. Anywho. Well, you know what? I'm going to read the omen first here. So, reflect on the relationships and situations that have... Wait. South Node. Guess fucking... I'm going to show you here as well. Look at that. This is the South Node card. It's beautiful. But, okay, I'm going to keep this here because there you also have some keywords, actually. But it's the same one. It has a typo. So, it says comfort tone. That's not what it's trying to say. It's comfort zone. So... reflect on the relationships and situations that have shaped you. Yeah, do that. Why were the challenges so difficult? What did they ask of you? Why were moments of beauty so profound? And how did they touch you? Maybe you should seek that out too. What wound haunts you? Well, you're clearly okay with pain and people having double standards and pushing your boundaries. Okay, what haunts you? Oh my god. Ha ha ha. What wound haunts you wearing different disguise? With the chameleon. Wait a sec. So this, right? But wearing a different disguise, that is also, oh, I keep on attracting the same story, just different meat suits. Why is that? It's because you're sticking to your South Node, that's why. Wearing different disguise. How have you met it each time? What message first spoke in whispers? That's your intuition. Then in screams. Well, if it screams, but this is your anger, because your anger is screaming right now. First it has been whispering to you. You have known this. But first it has been whispering to you, and now it's boiling. And that's it, actually. For this collective, that's the truth. Because now it's starting to evaporate for me. Slightly. I hit it there. I know. Okay. Then it screams. What is the life lesson? What is the lesson life has been trying to teach you? And have you been listening? So, what do you need to release? Oh, you know that. You know that because... Guys, the way that this just ended up was this. You have clarity. You know exactly what you need to release. It's just that you don't want to. Because you don't want to. It's fear of the new. It's resisting. It's clinging to the old ways of situations. Oh, life is so painful anyways. I can take it. I can take it. Like a man. I'm really sensing that. Like a man, I can take it. Who are you trying to impress? Like, do you think at the end of your life you're going to get a prize because you could take the pain better than the rest? You could take all of the pain. You were such a great martyr. Here, have a what is it called? Like when you participated prize. In life, you did it. Yay. But you didn't though. The only thing, if you did it, you would have followed your North Node. You were not even you weren't participating in life. You were sticking around and sort of what's it called? What's it called? It's like you're not living. You're just enduring. It's like, well, I don't have a choice now, do I? I have to stay here in life. I mean, and in general. No, but yes, but no, but yes, stay in life, but like, you don't have to stay in your pain. At some point, yes, you would have had to do that. Quite likely. Because as a child, there's a reason why I even remembered that story with the animals and like they grew up with it, sort of, right? Or also it could come with like having been in a very long relationship that has slowly been, but I don't think you would have ended up in it if you, I think it would be very hard to end up in that type of relationship if you also didn't have the predisposition by already having gone through stuff that you were carrying along that made you more predispositioned not to attract that type of relationship and people. Because everyone attracts everyone, actually. That's my theory, at least. However, you were in the type of energy where you allowed it to be in your existence, like in your relationship, because it wasn't all that news breaking or breaking news at that point, because it was just normal. This is how I've been treated my whole life. Why would I expect anything different? I've always been electrocuted. What are you talking about? I don't have to. That sounds like a fantasy. I don't assign to that. No. Let me stay here and be electrocuted, actually, until the day I die. Okay. Yes, this is, yeah. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this entire thing. So, where the north node is the head of the dragon, which is not where you guys are. The south node is the tail of the dragon, which isn't worse by all means. It's like a dragon is a dragon. You know, you need all the parts. But okay, so representing what your soul is moving away from during this lifetime, except you're not. But you should be. But you're not. The advice here, okay, I can only come with advice. I can't tell you what you should be doing or whatnot. But the advice here is that perhaps consider doing so. Not being stuck in your south node. Not living your life as if you need to be electrocuted all the time, every day. Since you're an adult and you can make those changes and like not to do that anymore. I mean, I should probably sit over here, actually. That doesn't matter. Okay, so anywho, representing what your soul is moving with. The dragon is a karmic axis, an imbalance you have incarnated to heal. Your soul aches to leave your south node. It aches to leave your south node and you're feeling it. That fire, that anger that you are afraid of. You are afraid of your own anger. Because you don't know how to utilize it. You don't know the power of anger. Maybe you're a person who has been misusing it or has had anger misused upon you, or both, quite likely in that case, actually. Where like when adults got angry with you or people around you when you were a child, that felt or truthfully was dangerous. And so when you got angry, that was the only way you learned that anger, or like when you felt that feeling, the only way you learned to use anger was to go into this very destructive energy. It's very self-destructive and relationship destructive. That's not what it's there for. It's literally the wind of change comes from the flame of anger. Something is unjust, you know? That's also a thing with this, like, here, you have, like, justice. It's not very just. Well, it kind of looks like it's quite even here, but it's not, because it has double standards and whatnot. Like, it's like, you get angry when stuff happens that you feel shouldn't happen. And that can be, for me, I'm not very active. I'm not active in that at all anymore. But I was very active when it came to more like using this anger and letting myself also get fired up. Not that you can truthfully control it, I think. It would be to, again, extract yourself from these situations, which I had to do. I've extracted myself from the situations that would enlighten my inner activist because, well, that was very consuming for me. But not in a bad way. Oh, wait. Not in a bad way. It's like, oh, there you have the yin-yang. So like, you're not doing that either. Anywho, let's continue here. Because your previous life, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so not because you've spent previous lifetimes stuck in this space. So much so that you have underdeveloped its opposing realm. Yeah, exactly. So with this, it would be like the anger, for example. You just don't know how to use it. It's not that hard. Okay, I shouldn't be saying that. I'm sorry. Okay. And while you're tempted to cling to the comfort of the South, which you are, it blocks the flow of your life, which will build up more anger, more resentment towards yourself, towards this person, towards everything that exists in your life, everything and everyone. It doesn't matter who these people are. You will start resenting them. You will start looking at. I didn't want to say this. I'm not sure I'm going to say that. No, I'm just, if it fits, I think you're going to be going there by yourself. And instead, I am going to say this, that it doesn't matter who they are, what exists in your life. It doesn't matter the relationship, the closeness, the connection. You will resent everything and everyone if you let this keep on building. Because it is not the people that you're resenting, including yourself. It is your body and mind and spirit telling you, hey, we need change. And it's just accumulating. And so the resentment is more towards lack of change. But you don't do change because you fear change. Okay. It blocks the flow of your life. There's There's an unchangeable current carrying you in the opposite direction. Okay, ironically, because you've clung to the South in fear, you've only graced the surface of its offering in lifetimes past. The beauty of your South Node is far from reach and is only found in letting it go. Through nurturing the opposite realm, the North Node, you develop trust and learn to surrender. And through entering that current, you balance the axis, finding peace and fulfillment. You're never going to find fulfillment in this. Okay. And now we have the North Node then. I'm going to read that to you guys as well, because please, okay? You know what? This is not, I'm going to keep this up here still. So the North Node then. The North Node also has a dragon, but it has a dragon that has like done the thing. Like it's now like a roar, big dragon. Okay. We're going to go for the omen firstly. Also, this is the keywords for South Node is destined to release, but you're not. And then the North Node is destined to have. So you're moving towards something that you want to have. You're not clinging on to something that you fear losing. You're meant to lose what you fear losing. Because, okay, that's actually sounded a bit weird. I'll agree to that. But it's more that you can, if it's something that you're meant to have, you can relax into knowing that it's not gonna disappear. It is yours. You're destined to have it, right? That's peace. You don't have to work so damn hard due to the fear of losing it. If fear is your main motivator in life, you're just going to attract in more stuff that you fear. It's the bicycle analogy once more. It doesn't matter what you truthfully want and whatnot in life. You're staring in the direction that you're focusing on. If you're focusing on your fear, then you're also focusing on what brings you more fear, I suppose. But like it's not positive, at least. Focus on what you want to have, not what you wish to not lose. You also get very stingy, like, oh, this is mine. I shall have this. Oh, you shall never touch this thing of mine. It's like, that's okay, but if your hands are so clenched on the things that you want to have and never lose, then you also end up with not having hands to even welcome in more expansion or anything at all. You end up where you are at is your plateau. And that plateau is self-created because you fear change. You fear the future. You fear anything that isn't what you have currently right here and now. But that also means whatever it is that you have right here and now is the only thing you're going to have. And you're just going to have more of that. But in the most negative of ways. Because this anger thing that's inside here, it's going to keep on growing. All of this. Your feeling of being stuck keeps on growing. Because guess what? Yes, you are stuck. And you're keeping yourself stuck. Okay, anywho, your angels, this is for the North Node, which you are not choosing, by the way, Omen. So your angels support you in tapping into the undercurrent of your life story. Where is it trying to take you? Not where you're trying to stick. Reflect on any common threads between your most identity-shaping or shattering experiences. Consider destiny, as more of a preordained spiritual journey instead of a singular defined fate. See the hard fact. Clarity. See the hard fact of something. Wait, give me a sec. Where was I? Hard fact happenings of your life as secondary and the symbolic messages behind them as primary. It's like all of this stuff is happening around me and I'm feeling this anger. Maybe there is like a message behind here telling me to get the fuck away or make changes. I don't know. That could be. Yes, it is. Okay, so remember, life itself acts as a means, a vehicle towards the evolution of your soul. Are you working with life? Surrendering into its current? Do you recognize closed doors as closed and walk through those that actually are open to you? Are you swimming with trust toward your destiny, or are you fighting against it? Regardless of where you find yourself, there are no mistakes. No, there are not. There are no mistakes. Life will always reroute to meet you. You're endlessly loved and supported. Yes, of course you are, but you're also stubborn. You're stubborn and you're resisting life and you're resisting everything, and it's just like, this is not good. So, with all of this said, an hour in, I kind of want to we don't need to know anything more. This is the energy that you guys are stuck in. This is what you should be doing. But with such a stubborn energy, how do you even? How do you even? Because you have a fear when it comes to anger. You don't understand it. I'm trying to figure out. It doesn't matter. I was like, okay, you have a fear of anger. You don't understand it. And you also, quite likely for this right collective, you are assigning to that the whole, well, if the pain was big enough, then that pain would outpain the pain of being stuck, which is never happening for you. You are a true martyr. You have truthfully sunken into your identity of a covert martyr. I don't know why I said that, but probably for a reason. Anywho, let's see. I don't think I could entice you. You're so afraid of the future. You're so afraid of change. I don't think I could entice this right collective. Not right now with like, oh, but look what could be on the other side. You don't really care. So instead, I am going to be, what does this collective need to work with to to be able to move out of the south node. Now, whether or not you decided doing it, that's up to you. I can only sit here with advice and like give you stuff, tools, I suppose. I can create that too, but I already have tons of tools. If you guys need tools, I have tools. Reach out. I have plenty of tools that you can use to get out of this, but you have to use them for getting out of this. You can't just have it next to you and be all, oh, I'm so enlightened. I do everything right. It's like, I'm thinking about that Tom Hardy song or whatever he's called. Tom Cardy? I'm not sure. The Australian that makes funny music. And he's like, oh, why am I anxious? And then like, he knows why he's anxious. And he lists it all very well. But then the dude is just all, but I have like a subscription to, what is this, a mindfulness thing. I should never be feeling like this. And it's the exact same thing that I said earlier on, which is you can't meditate this away. You know what's going on. It's just you don't. It's not enough. It's not enough. You can know exactly what's going on around you. You can feel an immense amount of pain and double standards and anger and whatnot, and you still choose to stick to it. That's just how life is. I am the best martyr in this entire universe, and on my deathbed, I am so sure there will be a fanfare of people marching in and handing me that coveted prize of best martyr ever alive. It's going to be wonderful. My life was worth it. No, I did not live it. No, I never, ever went to my North Node. No, I never actually truly felt peace and happiness and stuff like that. But it's okay, because at my deathbed, I will regret nothing. None of the things I never did will I ever regret, because I got the best martyr prize. Oh, it's like, Joan of Arc, you have nothing on me. Damn it. Let's see, what does this collective need? Let us see. Past trauma. You need to take time to heal your trauma. It's the thing that I have been talking about. Like, you are so used to pain, there is no amount of pain in the world that will ever make you move your butt. In fact, it's going to simply give you more anger, and you have no idea how to use that anger. Because the only way you know how to use anger is unproductive and highly weird. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that as weird. God damn, I'm far too feisty during this one. But you use anger as the fire that kind of leads you towards change. It's an indicator that change is needed. It's an indicator that you're being stepped all over. It's an indicator that something that you care about is being disrespected, or yourself, or stuff like that. Like, I'm also thinking like with my activists and stuff, right? Because none of that actually affected me. It could potentially, for one of the things that I was working with, but in general, none of it ever affected me. It didn't matter. I was still like, this is wrong, and we need change, and there shall be change. And because then you get solution oriented, right? I'm like, how do I put change into motion? This world will not have known what hit them. I shall not go down as the martyr. I'm going down as the flame that changed the entire system. That's what I'm doing. But anywho, past trauma. You need to take time for yourself and heal your past trauma before moving on. Well, that also ended up on the South Node and Comfort Zone and Clarity Truths. It's not before moving on for you. It's like, because, let's be honest there. But for you, it's like you need to take time for yourself and heal your past trauma, because you clearly can't move on from things that are horrible for you. But it's comfortable. I've always lived like this. Okay, and then you have hidden feelings. You need to express how you feel. Well, okay, I'm gonna read it, but it's not what because the past trauma. Okay, so you need to express how you feel to the one you love, to see how they feel in return. hiding feelings, but it's not hidden feelings, it's hiding feelings, because that's what you're doing. You hide your feelings. You hide them from yourself, you hide them from other people around you, you just hide your feelings. And that is this. You are the chameleon, because you're hiding yourself, and there's hidden agenda, but that your hidden agenda is that please don't see me, please. And I get that. I'm not here judging, actually. I'm very fired up, but I'm not judging. This comes from somewhere. You've learned that being seen is not comfortable. You've learned that being fired up is not a good thing. I've been fired up this entire time. And I have not once felt like you were like... Okay, that doesn't actually matter. My point is this. I've been fired up this entire time. Me being fired up is not me being angry with you, collective. This is me feeling that wind of change and wanting, I suppose, to pass it over to you. It's like that Olympic fire thing, whatever. Not that you need it, because you have more than enough fire inside of you. Right here and now, for this collective. Whenever you find it, all my readings are timeless, but whenever you find it, you have more than enough fire inside of you. But you just don't know the actual gift of it. Because it is an actual gift. You need to stop hiding from it and hiding it. But it's not there to be used as to be used in a way where it's harmful towards you or others. Self-sabotaging, lashing out, creating drama, all of those things. That's not what it's there for. That's... Whoa. Oh, yes. It's the breaking news that you had was you're giving too much with the double standards and the boundary pushing of your relationship. You are depleted because you give too much. You need a balance of give and take, like everybody else. That's love. That's how love actually works, okay? It's a balanced give and take. It's not double standards. It's not pushing boundaries. It's open communication. It is allowing yourself to be fully, completely in all of the feelings and emotions and whatnot, like emotional intimacy, right? Fully and completely be seen. Naked. Oh, you can get undressed. That does not mean that you are seen. No. Because unless you remove the armor, you're very much hidden. Like, very much hidden. But you're giving too much. And so you are depleted. And so that's partly also why you are feeling this anger. And you already know this. You have clarity. You know what's going on. You're not doing it, but you have it. You have the clarity. Oh, okay. So what we're having here is past trauma needs to be... You genuinely have to start looking at it. You have to do the work. And it doesn't mean sit there and ruminate and, oh, now I can see where it all stems from. Oh, yes, I can see it, I can feel it, but why though? It doesn't matter. All of that is like, yes, that's great. That's a good start. However, it's the action that needs to... There will be no change. You can know all... You do. Like, you can know all the knowledge in the world. It doesn't really matter if you're not putting it into practice. Then it's just stuck in your head. Just like you are. Sorry. I'm not sorry, but I am kind of sorry. But this too, like hiding feelings. You need to express, damn it. But also stop hiding from yourself. Okay. I want to... I'm very unsure. I feel like we need something more. Okay, we're gonna go for these, actually. Yes. Okay, I don't remember what this deck is called, but I'll find the book afterwards. But it's, I want some guidance for you. You already know. You need to face your past trauma. That's it. That's the thing. You already know that you need to distance yourself from this feminine energy. You already know that you're giving too much and that you need to like do the thing you're not doing. And your hidden agenda. But your hidden agenda is just like, why am I still, what is your hidden agenda? Like, I know what it is. I can see it here. The hidden agenda is that you want to stay there. Like, it's you don't, but you do. It's easier to stay. Oh yeah, it's more painful. But you know, that price at the end of your life where you get to be the best martyr ever, that's highly tempting. I feel like that's your hidden agenda. No, what? No, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go for this first. So, I have a deck of cards, tarot deck. They are probably one of the first I ever got, which wasn't like the standard. This is the first I ever got. That wasn't the like standard. I love them. However, usually people love or hate this deck. It's the imagery, because they remind people of they're kind of like a fever dream, sort of, but they are amazing for people who have gone through stuff during childhood, which this collective, quite likely at least, has. You've gone through stuff, and it doesn't have to be like the worst of the worst, but you've gone through something, which we all have, during childhood, that is priming you for just sticking out life. It's like, you don't need to live life. Why would you? It's just pain anyways. So if I move from this to something else, it'll just be more pain. Not that you've actually ever done that, because you've always just existed inside your pain. You've always just existed inside the pain room because you're afraid of moving out of that. Because you might lose your martyrdom prize. It's rude of me. I'm sorry. I know that's not why. I am so rude during this. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm very spicy and I'm very sarcastic right now. I usually do. Tends to be more professional. Anywho, so let's see though. Whoa, let's see. Okay, here we had 8 of cups. I am going to get the pamphlet, of course. 8 of Cups. That is walking away from something that you have invested in, but you know it's not right for you, and that it is paining you. It's not painful, but like, yeah, it's like, this isn't actually, it's the cost sink theory would not work on you, because you're like, yeah, but okay, listen, I've thrown so much in here and what I get is nothing that I want, truthfully. Maybe I wanted it at some point, but it's not what I want now, because it doesn't actually resonate with me, who I want to be, how I want to live, whatever. It doesn't really matter. You will know. It's something that is hard and painful to walk away from, but you do it anyways. That's your first card. But in this one, as you might see, there's like birds. So she has like tons of birds in here, and then she has one in her hand. And what's coming to my mind is the whole, like, it's better to have one bird in your hand than 15 on your roof. I don't know. There's a saying. I never truthfully got it though. But wait a sec. I think it has to do with you're supposed to be eating that bird or something. In which case it makes slightly sense, but I'm more of the whole like, yeah, I don't know. I like birds. By all means, I'm not a vegetarian. I basically don't eat meat. Basically a pescatarian, I suppose, but it's not by intention. I genuinely don't like meat. Okay, let's see here though. 8 of Cups. Yeah, okay, let's see this one though. Emotional upset is keeping you from making any meaningful progress. I'm going to add, at all. So, don't cling to resentments and pain. Is this echoing everything that I just said in this hour? I am so shocked. It's almost as if I know what I'm doing here. I do actually, though. I give great readings. This is also what you'd get in a private reading, but it would be highly specific towards you and your thing. You always get, with me, you always get the cards and all of that, but I would never, ever send you off without some sort of like more, at least deeper clarity of what's going on, or actual tools that you could use to do the thing. But with this collective, it's like, yes, I actually truthfully have tools you could use. But until you reach some sort of like understanding, I'm going to say, you are seeing stuff, but you don't understand just how free you are, just how little of a martyr you need to be, just how much life actually arranges around you, and it is right now as well. It's just that what you wish for life to arrange around you is stagnation, is more pain, is more of what you have. We always get more of what we have. It's like global warming or whatever it's called, like global changes with the weather and stuff. You get more of what you had. So here it's going to rain even more. But guess what? If I wanted something different, more of something different, then I would have to move. I can't stay here and truthfully be like, oh, it's so rainy. It always rains over here. I am, though. I still do that. But I'm human. But still, though, it's like, oh, why are the skies so gray? Oh, it's always raining. Why can't things just be different? They won't be different. You can do different and then you'll get different, but they won't be different. I can't change the weather. I need to not just know that, but also act in accordance to that. So if I wish a different meteorological whatever circumstances around me, I need to use that fire then and warm up my hot air balloon and be on my merry fucking way. I need to stop swearing, but I can't. Okay, so here it is. Don't cling to resentments and pain. Set them free. So, key concepts: inner turmoil, depression, and clouded vision. Oh, you see, but you don't see, because you don't want to see. It's like, you could get out of this, but the only way to get out of this is taking action. All those things that you are like, it's like that one step. You should be taking the step. You know what? I'm going to use a completely different analogy. It's like when you're a child and you're in your room and the door is closed and you can hear the adults outside, but you have this fear of going outside of your room for some reason. Again, like with the anger stuff, perhaps it's that. Or like maybe you went in and then, and when you went in there, maybe you were doing homework or something like that. Like you were going into your room, but then you can hear you're hungry or something and you really want to go and get a snack. Or maybe you just need to go to the bathroom. I don't know. But then you can suddenly hear, while you're standing there, reaching for the handle of the door, you can hear I'm very sorry, because your fathers might have been great, but I'm using this because that's like the masculine energy, right? And so masculine and anger, anger is, I would categorize at least more as a masculine energy. And so by that being masculine, you have two sides to it. You have the wounded masculine side. The wounded masculine side with anger, that would be punching someone in the face. That would be, the whole like, when you're shouting at people and demeaning them and stuff like that. That's wounded masculine energy. But then you have positive masculine energy. And as I said, it has nothing to do with gender. But with positive masculine energy, then you feel this feeling and it's like, change. We have now finally gotten the wind of change in our sails and we shall sail forward into not even the sunset, it's the sunrise of a new and bright, brave new dawn. That is positive masculinity with anger. But that's why you're still standing there as a child and you can hear suddenly that your wounded masculine father is coming home. And suddenly you're standing there and you really need to go to the toilet. We're going with that one. You really do need to go to the toilet. It's just you can't get yourself to open the door and walk outside and to the toilet because you can hear this. And so the fear is just building and building, but so is your actual felt need to use the toilet. At some point, you're going to have to make a choice here, right? And I'm not sure. I don't feel like I should be continuing that story. Yeah, okay, we're not. In that case, we're continuing here. Like, just see if there's like something more. Some more guidance. You got that one. Oh my god. Okay, then you got another one. That came out upside down. It is the Empress, is it not? Upside down. So it's like we just talked about wounded masculine, but we have previously talked about wounded feminine energy. And this one, upside down, would be then the... Or is it the wounded... Give me a sec. This might not be the... No, it is her. Number 3. I never remember. I was like, is it the High Priestess? But of course it's not. This is the Empress. So, yes. This landed on top of giving too much. So with the breaking news, oh my god, I'm giving too much. And it landed on top of the distance and timeout and whatnot. This is, again, just saying the exact same thing. You're connected to a wounded feminine energy. This is... No. I'm not even going to read that because it makes no sense in this one at all. No, you know what? I'm going to read it just in case it means something to you guys. But remember, this is upside down. Upside down. Boy, you turn me inside out, around, around. There's something about that one. I don't know. It came to my mind for a reason. Anywho, so... All of nature is connected. Okay, but this is like upside down, so no. All of nature is connected and you are part of that whole. This person does not see it like that. And this is not how you feel it. Like this person is not part of the whole, which is your union, which is you guys being a good team and whatnot. No, because there's double standards and pushing boundaries. Being in victimhood and victim state and whatnot. And then it's like, take good care of the earth's creatures and receive their love in return. No, but I just want to receive. Give me. I deserve. Sort of. And then you have key concepts. Nurturing, caretaking, Earth Mother in its most wounded states ever. Yeah. That sounds nice. Okay. But this is the pain and the whatnot that you're supposed to be like, you know, leave, let it go. Whoa, 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 I'm being attacked. Just because I'm telling the truth, you don't have to be attacking me. Okay, let's see. We got 2 cards there. Let's see what this is. I'm gonna put you there. Okay, let us see. First we got 7 of Cups, which is also choices, you know, and also being stuck in dreams, like, this was not connected to anything, but it was it was the South Node. It's like between the South Node and your hidden agenda. So it's like right now you're just stuck in some sort of like fantasy thing. But it's also not true because you know it. You know it. And it's usually it's also the whole like, I'm not sure which choice to make and what like. And then you have 6 of Cups. So you're stuck in fantasy and what was. You're stuck in the past. And you're stuck in fantasy. And you're stuck in all the things that it could have been and all the things that it could be. But then reality is just looking you in your face and you know that you're dealing with all of this crap and you know that you're dealing with whatnot and it doesn't match up at all with your fantasy of what you're living in. I'm not even sure if like this is like, if you can say, but this one, she has like a mirror. So it's like, it's showcasing, it's trying to show her herself, you know, but just, ugh, this isn't good. Right now, you're just stuck, but you're stuck because you're giving this situation you're looking at it in a way that's untruthful, but you're choosing to look at it that way whenever the whole like feeling of, well, perhaps I should move out of this comfort zone, perhaps I should not fear the new, perhaps I should give a little bit less resistance, but that resistance is then being countered by you going into your fantasy of what was and therefore could be. And that's a bit interesting because you have clear vision of what is in front of you. But if you can get stuck in what was and what might be, then you do not have a clear vision of what was. Necessarily, at least. You might then be rose coloring it. And definitely rose coloring the future. But you know this. Like, you know this. You're giving too much. There's double standards. There's pushing boundaries. I'm going to tell this to you straight. If there is this now, there was this before. Okay? Because this has trickled in and it's become gradually more prominent. That easy. Okay, let's see. Is there anything more to add? Yes, we got... look at that, though. This is... it landed on top of the timeout and giving too much, and on top of this wounded feminine energy. We have this... this always reminds me of a children's story. The image. I can't truthfully remember it, but it's the person who wrote the story, The Witches, and the... you know, those that turned children into mice, or at least the protagonist was turned into a mouse. And is it Roald Dahl or something? He also wrote a book about the dummies or the fools or something like that. I can't remember it properly. But he also wrote a book about some sort of fruit that turned massive. And then the child who was living in this, he had moved into some family members that were not nice to him, I think. He had moved in with them. But he ended up getting this massive fruit. I read the book as a very young child. So I remember it only-ish. And then he was like flying around with it and something like that, and then it crashed at some point. I'm not sure. Like, that story might hold some significance. I cannot remember what the story is, though, at all. And I think it is Roald Dahl, but it might not be. Anyway, this is Ace of Pentacles. So that's more of a... Oh, you think that your pentacles are connected to this person, this individual. That, or that's what they keep on taking from you. Your pentacles. It's like, this person is making you feel like your physical abundance is tied to them. So either in the giving too much, you are giving away all of your, and they will just take it because they just deserved it anyways. It's like, give it to me. But there's double standards, so you wouldn't be receiving it in the same way at all. But it's like, either they are taking all of your, not all, but it's like, your physical abundance is tied to this person. Either in the sense that you feel without them you wouldn't have this. This is almost like it's their doing, but it's not their doing. It's more like, for some reason, keeping them in your life is how you get to keep. Or even, this is actually starting anew, though. This is like starting a new pentacle journey. But it's like, your entire pentacle journey is then tied to them. And so if you were to leave, then you would be left with no pentacles. It's not necessarily money, but it's like your physical abundance in general. But it's also like with the legacies and all of that. Everything is tied to this person. And I'm sorry, but like, I'm also sensing this individual is using that against you one way or another, like intentionally or unintentionally. You're left feeling like, yes, it is. But it could also just simply be that, yes, yours is mine. Mine might not be yours all the time if I don't feel like it, but yours is mine. That's just the natural way of things. Because I am the feminine energy, and so of course I should just be receiving. Thank you. Please, give me more. It's not true, by the way. Like, this is such a negative energy. In fact, everything is stunted because you are in your south node. There will be no more expansion. It is what it is. And you'll just keep on getting more of what you have. Let's see. Okay. This is what we had here. I kind of want to... No. I was like, should I be reading these? But I don't feel like I should. This is also Alice in Wonderland. I want to say that. And she's following the White Rabbit, right? But Alice in Wonderland... She goes into Wonderland. She learns lessons in there. Hard ones, confusing ones even. But the goal is not to be stuck in Wonderland. In fact, she needs to get out of Wonderland. That's the whole thing. She goes there, she does some stuff, and then she gets out. Being called to that for a reason. Okay, the very last thing we will be doing here is this. We're going to get you some cards here, some oracle cards. No, it's not actually. I still need to do one more thing. For some reason, I need this deck as well. I really just want to like do this and get it done, sort of. But okay, we're gonna go for these first. It's still the same thing. Like, what can we do to help this collective actually do what they know they need to do and not get stuck in their fantasy of what was and what could be, and also realize that, you know, it's not true that the pentacle journey of you is tied to this individual. Damn it. That would be so absurd. Like having your life and the possibilities of your life being tied to someone else. That's as absurd as you being able to change other people. No, all of yours is tied to you and you alone. But, however, and this is important, who you choose to team up with defines where you will plateau. And you have plateaued. Wherever that was, it's happened already. So this one just dropped down into the cluster of clarity. Stop hiding your feelings. Work on your trauma. And also, you need a timeout from this individual and everything else. Yeah, false narrative. You are stuck in a false narrative. And also with the thing over there with the fantasy and whatnot, that's just like the fantasy of what was, the fantasy of what could be. That is the thing that is making you stay in this. And also all of the other stuff that I said earlier on. But it's a false narrative and it says discernment. You are not using that. Be mindful of the story you're telling yourself. Having a negative narrative is destructive and simply not true. Stop listening to your ego-based story that is laced with falsehoods and old conditioning. For every negative thing you say, counteract that by saying 3 positive words. See the truth of who you are, which is what I was talking about here. Like that little snake dragon thing is trying to showcase this lovely woman with a mirror who she is. And she's like, do I want to look at it? I'm not sure. Okay. Anywho, so see the truth of who you are, which is wise, magnificent, and radiant. That's who you actually are. You don't need this person. You don't need to be stuck in this pain. You don't need that best martyr at the end of your life. Or will you be taking it with you to the other side? This grand prize of I endured most pain. This grand prize of I never followed my intuition. This grand pain of I never actually showed anyone myself, to be honest. Ugh, I managed an entire lifetime without doing that. I am so proud. Is that truthfully what you need and what you want? Is that what you're trying to achieve? Because you're achieving it by being stuck in the South Node. You are very much achieving it right now. Because you're stuck in a false narrative. Okay, let's see. Past life karma, cycles. You're stuck in the cycles. God damn. Blah, blah, blah. Past life simply means stuff happened earlier on. For me, in my readings. If you want to reframe that for your sake, of course you can do that. But for me, in my readings, this is, for example, childhood, earlier stuff. This indicates a past life is the reason why the intense energy surrounds you. Yeah, why you're stuck here. So heal your trauma as you've been told to. The person or situation. Look into ways to clear past life karma. Do active steps to heal yourself. But for you, the active step is to break off from this. I'm not saying like break up or like, you know, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that you need to gain some perspective. Perhaps you could take like a break from this person. I don't know. But at least you need to have an actual conversation with them and see if this can actually be patched up. With this wounded feminine energy, which it might be if this wounded feminine energy is a person who is still someone who also wants to like work on themselves for themselves, not to save this dynamic, but for themselves. Because if you're doing something to simply save a dynamic, then it won't stick. There has to be internal motivation. If the internal motivation does not exist, then clarity will emerge. No, not clarity. Well, it will, but I was thinking about resentment. But also, it's like a tap. It's like you know, I did this for you, and so now you owe me, actually. And because I did that, I now deserve. It's like you're not doing it for yourself, so it's transactional. You expect to get something in return. It's not good enough that you are simply, you know, becoming a better person for yourself, but then also, consequently, for the world around you. Okay, look into ways to clear blah, 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 and see the bigger picture of the situation by viewing it from a lesson perspective. This is a lesson. The lesson is, I don't need to live my life through pain only. I don't need to be in relationships that have double standards, that are pushing boundaries, and where I need to escape into a fantasy of what was, a fantasy of what could be, potential, instead of being able to simply exist here and now in my relationship, where you don't have to give too much. Okay. Yeah. What is it though? Perspective. Taking ownership for your part and forgiveness. Yes, because you're also sticking to this. You're part of this, you know? You're choosing pain. You are willingly choosing that end of the lifetime martyr price instead of actually living your life. You are choosing that. But that means you have a choice. That means you can choose differently. You can choose to let all of that false narrative go. You can choose it. The question is, will you? Do you want to? So, ownership for your part and forgiveness are key in releasing past life karma. Let's see if there's anything more that wants to jump out from this one. Might not, because I feel like this was it. Yeah. Okay, now now I can feel this is the last deck. Now we're just getting this, and then we are done. Nice. Okay. So, this right collective. Something. Oh, maybe it doesn't want to. Whoa, no it did. Oh my god! You got the... Oh. Okay, so. No, wait, I want to see if there's something more. Just give me 1 sec, okay? I'm going to showcase afterwards. I just need to see if there's anything more. Yeah, oh my god, okay. Yeah, okay. So, we got 3 cards then. What is this? You got... Okay. First you got... Bai Shi. This is Chinese, I think. I can't really pronounce her name. So, Bai Shi Nyang. She is a goddess, and she is tied to the heart. She is a snake, actually. She's a healer, if I remember correctly. Let's find the booklet. Oh my god, look at that. She's also on the front cover here. Nice. Let us find her. BBB. Here we have her. So, love, commitment, and healing. Her story. In Chinese mythology. Yeah, okay, ish. In Chinese mythology, Bai Shi Nyang is a 1,000-year-old white snake goddess, a deity who transforms herself into a young woman and falls in love with a mortal man. She bears him a son, whose act of fidelity saves her from religious persecution at the hands of a fanatical monk. Anywho, card meaning. Family conflicts or romantic challenges with the ones you love most arise. You might be experiencing deep, all-consuming emotions or emotional overwhelm. Love is healing, but it can also feel frightening. A fear of losing control is holding you back. In life in general. Okay, her advice. Bai Shi Nyang calls on you to act out of love. Act out of love, not fear then. And honor to protect what matters most. You can overcome your fear. She reminds you that love is not only worth fighting for, it's worth living for. You're not! And that is really funny, because you know what you got? You got the lovers. You got Dido. Oh, Dido! I love that. Anyway, you got a different one too, though. We need to take Dido. Now, it seems. Okay, fine, we're gonna take Dido. Let's see, though. I will go down with this ship. Okay, anywho, Dido, the lover. All or nothing. Obsession. Spite. God damn. Okay, anywho, so Dido, the pseudo-historical queen of ancient Carthage, I don't know what that is known for founding the ancient city and for her tragic love story with her husband, the hero, Aeneas. Yeah. Despite the aid and love that Dido gives Aeneas, he abandons her. In her despair, Dido curses him with her dying breath. Well, that's not a nice thing to do. So this card represents a desire to get what you want at all costs. You might feel sorry for yourself because it seems like the world is against you. Ask yourself, what part you play in the current situation? A string of misfortune or bad luck can now be experienced as the reversal of fate. Well, what it means is that, like, you know, if you're experiencing bad luck and all of those things, like all of these negative things that you're experiencing in here, perhaps you're playing a part in keeping it that way. Because you're playing a part in keeping yourself there. Okay, anyway, so her advice. Queen Dido's appearance is urging caution, asking you to assess the situation before you act rashly. You have a blinding passion for someone or something that is clouding your judgment, and you may be reacting out of spite or short-sightedness. Let me first take this one, because I am unsure if this is you or if this is the person that you're connected to. Or if it's both of you guys. I mean, you did get the whole, like, what part are you playing sort of here. The lover. Of course it is. So, in all of this, you two are both acting in resentment towards each other. Now, I don't know what that entails, what details, like where it's going, but like there's tension and you're experiencing it in the worst of ways. But hey, at least you're getting that prize at the end of it all. So, that martyr prize, you know. So, and then we also have Atargatis, I don't know, goddess, the flow. So, this is open-mindedness, protection, well-being, and I am thinking the North Node, because the North Node is literally asking you, like the card, the North Node card, is literally asking you to follow the flow of life. You're not. Because you're in resistance of the flow of life. You're fearing the flow of life. You're fearing the water. You are clinging to anything that will not flow you away at all. In fact, if life is trying to flow you anywhere at all, you just put down that anchor and you'll grasp onto the reeds, whatever the thing is, and like stay put in harbor. Yeah, right now. So let's read though. Open-mindedness, protection, and well-being. Okay, her story. A mermaid goddess in ancient Syrian lore. Atargatis inspired an army of oppressed and enslaved minorities to fight for freedom during the First Servile War. And her priestesses were transgendered women. What I'm going to say is that for her to have inspired an entire army of oppressed and enslaved minorities, she has used her fucking anger well. That's an activist type of anger. She's like, okay, are you really going to be standing for this? Are you really going to be dying during this? Like you either stand for something or you die for nothing. That's anger. That's anger. That's proper anger. That's healthy anger. When you rise up, and you don't need to bring anyone down while you are rising up. That's not how it works. The need to bring others down, that's unhealthy. Again, use of anger. Oh, you're making me feel so bad. I'm gonna bring you down. Who cares? It should be, oh, I'm feeling so angry. I am going to rise. And yes, me rising might include rising against you. But that's not my motivation. My motivation isn't to rise against you. You have very little to do with this, except the fact that you're part of like the thing that is keeping oppression in system, whatever. You get my point, right? Activism. Anywho, so card meaning. Are you falling into black and white thinking? Remember that the universe, like your situation, contains multitudes. You'll need to accept nuance and be open to ambiguity. Let's continue. Her advice. Atargatis invites you to consider multiple viewpoints. Taking an all or nothing approach tends to limit your thinking. Rely on your intuition, then act from there. And you know what your intuition is saying. It's just that you also keep on doing this every time your intuition is speaking. This has been highly feisty. I have showcased you healthy anger. You are welcome. Because this was me in my activism state. This is me roaring for change for you. This is me acting right now as your internal spokesperson for your anger in a positive manner. This is your anger speaking to you, but in a healthy way. Being all, you know what? We ain't lying down for this like the animals, you know. We are going to be standing up and listening to our intuition, which is still whispering, there must be more. There must be different stuff than this. There must be experiences in life that does not, romantically, that does not include double standards, my boundaries being pushed, me having to hide myself, me feeling stuck in my south node because I'm not expanding anymore, me being literally stuck in my past trauma, which is then keeping me in a belief system that giving too much and being with wounded feminine energies that make me feel like I have no actual control of my life and my pentacles journey, like my abundance, my physical whatnot. There has to be different ways of doing love, different ways than being in spite and acting out of spite towards each other, having to live through that, different ways than having constant, I don't want to say like, what's the word? I can't remember. But no quarrels. I'm going to go for quarrels because that's not productive at all. If you're quarreling, you're just like shouting at each other. It's like, oh, you did this. I wanted that. That's quarreling. That is not properly. That's not having a proper. What is this? Conflict. That's not a proper conflict. It's like it started being about a thing or something that isn't actually tied to the person. A conflict isn't tied to people per se. Yes, there are people involved, but it's not tied to them and who they are and whatnot. Well, maybe it might be, but it's not. Okay? Conflict is not about person. Conflict is about situation. This, well, not this specifically, but like what she was talking about, like what I was talking about, and I tied to this. That makes everything that should be about situation about person. As well, at least. But it doesn't have to be. And you know this. But you're very stuck. And the only thing you can do, and this is actually this is the only card that has stayed unconnected to all of the rest of the cards. It's the 8 of Cups. It's the walking away from this. But I'm not telling you to break up. I would never do that. You know what you need to do because you have an intuition that you are excusing away, that you are dampening down, and you have this fire inside of you that you are not using for anything productive because you're part of this, you know? It's like, I have all of this anger, I'm going to use it in resentment instead. That's not going to help you. You need to use it like this. Like, it's your inner activist. It's your inner freedom fighter. It's your inner, we're going to make change. The world will be a better place. It's also Swedish song. It won't help you guys because I don't think it's translated. But if there are anyone that, then it's the Goliath. It's the we're gonna fight against Goliath or something like that, but in Swedish. And we should change the world or something like that. Ooh, and then I'm also having, but that's Norwegian again. It's like rappers, Karpe. It's like we were supposed to be changing the world, but we were fucking afraid of the world. So we kind of didn't. Sort of. That's the lyrics-ish. I don't remember what the song is, though. So 8 of Cups. I'm going to reread this, because this is the only one that stayed. Unconnected. And here, as if it was some sort of arrow pointer for you, which it is. Emotional upset is keeping you from making any meaningful progress. In general, it's not just romance. This is, you're stuck. In general. So don't cling to resentment and pain. Set them free. See what happens. Follow the flow. This is not telling you that you have to leave this situation. It's telling you to stop clinging to all of that pain. It's telling you to stop clinging to past stories. It's telling you to stop clinging. So you also won't need to look at what was and what could be. in rose-tinted glasses, or through rather, and to actually see what is in front of you. But it is so important to also see it was one of the cards, I can't remember, but your part of upkeeping this. Because you don't have to stay here. Like in this space, this emotion. Again, I am not telling you that you should be leaving this. I don't know what is right for you. I can only come with advice, and my advice is that you need to look at the narratives that you are telling yourself. And also that they are telling you. You have clarity. You have the shocking news that, oh my God, I'm giving too much. What? These are things you know. You are connected to a wounded feminine energy. You know. I'm not giving you anything new here. This resonates. For the right collective, it resonates. You have a weird relationship with anger. For the right collective, this resonates. Anger is not to be fed. Anger is the flame that... I have a candle here. I was looking at it. And it was a bit cute because when I lit the match, it was one of the most intense matches. It was gorgeous though. But this is anger. Truthfully. Can I even showcase it better? No? Slightly. But this is anger. It's a flame. Yes, you can burn yourself and you can also burn others with it. It's a source of energy though. And you can use it to so much more. It's your passion. It's your desires. It's your everything. It's the source of life. Well, truthfully it isn't, but it could have been. Yeah, key concepts. Inner turmoil. These are the things that you get. These are the things that you get caught up in when you do not listen to your fire. It's not just other people that can dwindle your fire. It's not just other people that can sort of try and make it less than what it is or whatnot. Like, you can do this yourself. You can murder your own flame. By sticking around here, you are murdering your own flame. But do you know how your body is telling you that something is still off? Something doesn't feel right? Something needs change? Because, you're murdering your flame and stuff. Your body is in conflict with your mind, with your stories, with your ego. So the inner turmoil, right? And then you also end up in depression. And you end up in depression because I don't know about clinical stuff when it comes to depression. I know some, but there is one theory. And it's a theory, of course. But it's not like, oh, a theory, I was thinking. Oh. It's like they did some science on this, of course. Honestly. But there are also different approaches to it. And I am not sure how... I can't give you medical advice. I can't. I don't have the competence, whatever, nor would I feel comfortable doing so. But there are scientific evidence that is showcasing a very large connection between feeling depressed, being in a state of depression, and not feeling like you have autonomy. So being stuck in a false narrative of what you can and cannot do. And it is not based on what you feel truthfully. It's like your north node feeling here. It's not like, oh, I have an impulse. I really want to go and eat some cotton candy. And then someone says no. And then you're like, oh, pain, depression. It's not that. That's maybe that's a false narrative too, but it's still that's not what we're talking about. It's I have to stick around in pain and torture and whatnot because this is what life is and I just have to endure it. That's a false narrative in every possible way. I can't change stuff. False narrative. I need to stay. False narrative. I have to, need to, can't, whatever. You would like add something to that afterwards. False narrative. That puts you and keeps you in depression. And then, of course, clouded vision. That's not seeing clearly, basically. Or also, I'm going to say, like, with the rose-tinted glasses, those are clouded vision. Not seeing your own value and worth and whatnot, clouded vision. Not feeling even that you yourself have value, or that you yourself should be prioritized by yourself. Also clouded vision, like false narratives. And so acting, as this one said, acting in a way, I'm going to read it though, but it's acting differently will give you different results. Acting in a way that does not align with your previously felt false narrative, which comes from your past trauma. Acting not in accordance with that, like whatever it is that's the opposite of that, that's going to give you back it's going to be really scary, but it's going to give you back that felt sense of autonomy. My life is my own. What? But you're not going to get that until you start acting. You can know and you can feel and you can be so logical. None of that even matters unless you can follow through, unless you can take action. Thoughts are nice and whatnot. Words are nice as well. Action is the only thing that will bring you out of something. Taking the action of walking out of a situation. I'm not saying walking away from this, but it's like I'm literally thinking about that. The animals, right? Oh, they could think all they wanted that, oh, maybe there's something bigger and greater out there and I won't be electrocuted even. Oh. But until they literally took the action of walking out of there, walking away from the shock zone, walking away from the electrocution, constant electrocution, more or less. But unless they took that action, they would not have felt the autonomy, that big thing, because they ended up in depression, of course they did. But that big revelation of, what, is my life my own? Is there something bigger out here? Was it not just the thing that I thought? That my experiences up until now was not the only experiences that exist to experience, not even just like for me. What? You need to act to experience something different. You need to act to get back that autonomy. You need to act. It's not enough to speak. It's not enough to avoid. It's not enough to learn and read and even getting tools. You have to act. You have to implement. You have to act. Here, like, yes, rely on your intuition and then act from there. That's your ending point. For this collective, you got a very spicy me. And yes, but this is my activist. Okay? This is me being all, you're caught up in injustice and you're just sitting there. Why? I'm sorry, because I do know why. Like, I do. And I'm usually way more patient, but not today. And the reason is the anger for this collective, this right collective. You have this. You're all of the things that I've been talking about when it comes to anger. You have it. Now listen to your intuition. Use it healthily and act. Okay, there is yet a inner activist in you as well. Okay, do all of the normal things, you know, if you so feel like. It's actually really smart. If you wish to have your energy more easily tapped into by me in these collective readings, interact with this, or my live readings, because it truthfully does kind of like attach my energy to your energy, but it's actually slightly different. It's you attaching your energy to my energy. It's like the more you are up in my energy, the more you're kind of sending your energy on me, and so I'll more easily pick you up, which is nice if you want to be, you know, picked up and guided and whatnot for free. Otherwise, there's personal readings. Anywho, listen to your intuition. Act. Anger is not your enemy. Just use it healthily. Mwah.